was 9-4 at the time in like the 7th inning. And my sister called me. So. Oh God.
The following is a presentation of Learfield IMG College.
This is Duck Insider.
Give it to Verdell. He's got the first down and gone. Duck fans start celebrating. Oregon is the 2019 Pac-12 champion. 2020 Rose Bowl champion.
Richardson, another open three. Good. Duarte dribbles and slams with the right hand. For the third time in the last 5 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champion. Outright champ.
Holy three. Good. Holy ball. Back out Shelley. Three ball. Good. Regular season champions and now Pac-12 tournament champions.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and welcome inside the Casanova Center as Oregon football resumes practice. A lot of updates on that. We're going to hear from Mario Cristobal, head coach Oregon football. He met with the media late last night. We have all those updates for you. Great Ducks wrapping up last night. A ton of fun producing those shows. Want to talk about that. Also, Dawood Davis, Jordan Happel, Brandon Dorless, Jim Mastro. 3 players and 1 assistant coach all talk to the media today. We have that for you coming up. Might be able to get to a little Oregon softball here from Haley Cruz, and we still have a few other interviews ready to rock and roll as we prepare for that kickoff against Stanford. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday on ABC 4:30, the Ducks and the Cardinal to kick things off. Whew. So the big update. Based on 2 separate subsequent negative PCR tests from independent labs, the 5 positive antigen tests from the Oregon football program on Saturday were discovered to be false positives. Following consultation between UO Athletic Medicine and Lane County Public Health, all 5 student-athletes were removed from isolation and returned to the team to participate in the resumption of practice yesterday morning. There was regular PCR testing on Sunday, as well as the standard daily antigen testing on Monday and Tuesday, with all results returning as negative. Good sign for the Ducks. And now as practice resumes, the Ducks did lose a scrimmage. Mario Cristobal talked about that and the procedure, the policies. A lot of the questions that you want answered, they were asked last night of the Oregon football head coach. Mario Cristobal met with the media.
All right, good evening, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. I know you guys already had the information about some tests that we had that they were deemed to be false positives, and we have resumed normal operations ever since then. So I want to get on with you tonight and answer any questions about our football program that you may have.
Mario, the Pac-12 protocol had said 1 PCR could override the positive antigen. Lane County and I believe OHA is also 1. The release said 2. Was that a choice, or was the department protocol even more strict, or basically why was the second, and how long did it take for the PCRs to be processed?
Well, everything in all medical questions and protocol, it goes right through, of course, all the health authorities you just mentioned and our medical staff as well. And everything was followed to the T, and that's what we did. And, of course, sometimes it makes you a little bit impatient. You want to get going right away, but it took about a day or so, and it was done, and we were able to resume our practices like we normally do.
Mario, how big of a loss do you take Saturday's scrimmage being, and is there a plan to reschedule, and how does that impact the remainder of your fall camp schedule?
Well, when you lose a scrimmage, certainly it's pretty impactful, and you can't really cram an extra 130 plays in the rest of your schedule, but we did plan to play live ball anyways throughout the course of this week, and we have, and we did today as well. And not all of it, some of it was stud, some of it we stayed up, but some of it, we went out there and we played ball, called it, headsetted it, the entire thing like normal operations, because that's going into camp. We felt that was going to be the most important thing that we can do, is just continue to get repetitions at what we do as we install a new offense as we continue to elevate the standard of our defense and our special teams. So, of course, it's always important, but it's that kind of year. We've got to adapt and move on.
Mario, what are kind of your range of emotions as a guy that's in charge of these 100 young people during this time? Is it a range of concern, relief, maybe frustration? What goes through all these different tests?
Yeah, a lot of stuff goes through your mind. It's I guess the first thing that hits is a little bit a dose of reality. What's going on and transpiring around the world and the college football world, and what different places have had to deal with. At the same time is immediately just trusting the processes that are in place, because I get to see these every day. I get to see the people that are here at 4:30 in the morning and leave way past where everybody else is already far gone and home and on with their day. So the first thing that comes to your mind are your student athletes, making sure that they're as healthy as they can be, and at the same time, should something happen, that you provide whatever necessary to make sure that they get healthy or stay healthy. So of course, as a football coach, the planning part, the practice part, you wonder, okay, how do you fit this together? But it's kind of been the theme that I think the entire country has had to have, is you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to roll with whatever punches come at you, make the adjustments and go forward, because at the end of the day, that ball is still going to be placed on the tee on November 7th and kicked off at 4:30. And no one's going to feel sorry for us or any other team that may have an issue. So all those things come into play. So you're just at it 24/7, and really pleased with the urgency of which this matter was handled with, and at the same time with the results that we had.
What did you guys do for the last 3 days? How did you guys make use of that time being not able to practice?
Well, we were able to get we had planned to have a scrimmage and then 2 days off of our feet. Okay. So we ended up having 2 days off our feet, and then a very thorough walkthrough last night with the guys that were not waiting for results to come back. So we still made a lot out of it, and in every phase, offense, defense, and special teams, and took the time to really take a deeper dive into our own schematical, I would say, corrections, issues, areas of improvement, jumped into some of the things that we have faced in the past that we may face this year that have given us problems. Haven't jumped on the opponent full bore yet, but just some bits and pieces here and there. So we made great use of it. Our meetings were still intact, both via Zoom and in person. In person with the guys that were all negative, and via Zoom with the guys that were waiting for their tests to come back negative. And today we got after it. Today's practice was a very thorough, long, physical football practice, a typical Oregon Tuesday. And really pleased with the way that we came out there, and the fact that we're throwing our guys into drives that have extended play. You're jumping into 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 play drives and testing them, and being that their legs were a little bit more fresh, we expect them to handle it well, and they did.
Sense of confidence, and you feel well that the systems in place worked. I mean, you lost today, and that's not good, but is it confident knowing the system in place and it worked for you?
I do. I feel very confident in them, and I think without anyone in the country having a real handbook of having gone through something like this, I thought the responses surrounding it, the way that people were at just immediately at the side of the people that needed to be. I thought it worked out pretty well. You always want to go faster. I mean, that's just the nature of all of us, right? We want things right now. We live in the day and age of instantaneous gratification. And I could see these processes continuing to get better and better, knowing now as time goes by and as we try to get these things to stand the test of time, things will come up and processes will improve. So, yeah, I think it's all headed in the right direction.
Mario, we asked kind of what the mood was for you in the days following the positive test. I guess, what about the players, not specifically those that tested positive, but just the group knowing that they lost some of this valuable time?
The thing that really stood out on Saturday, guys really wanted to play that night. Like, there was a lot of juice and a lot of just energy and want to get after it type attitude heading into Saturday night. And you could tell that those guys really felt it. They really want to get after it and knock each other around pretty good. So, but I also think that dose of reality also serves as a great lesson. I mean, that could be the case for us, could be the case for any team around the country, right? Where you may be down a few guys. And what do? You adapt, you overcome. So I think it's a great indication of, what your team can and will handle as it comes your way. And the expectation is that leadership has to come from the locker room, and it's going to be looked at and leaned upon, because in a year like this, where it's more than just football, right? There's a lot of different things that every single program in America has to deal with. You're going to have guys that are made of the right stuff that can galvanize a place when it goes through something like what we could have had. For us, it ended up being a fire drill, right? That's what it was. Well, I think, the hair on the back of everybody's neck was like, okay, this may require us to really just turn it up and go the extra mile. So all in all, just a lot of stuff learned through the experience, and grateful that we continue to go forward and progress as normal.
Mario, with the Pac-12 issuing also some additional guidance and clarifying, first part was it's 10 days of isolation if they were confirmed positive versus 14 days if through contact tracing and deemed a high-risk contact. That almost seems more punitive. And obviously this question about cooperation and the incentive for a player to cooperate basically with contact tracing if they know they're going to be out even longer than the person who tested positive in the first place. I realize these were negative ultimately, but did you get a sense of how devastating this could have been even with one confirmed positive through the contact tracing? And secondly, what if this happens during a game week? The Pac-12 says you'll have access to PCRs on the day of, but are you confident if somebody tests positive morning of the game, that if it's a false positive, you can turn around and play, and what your own plan is for the coaching staff if something like this arises?
Well, there's a plan for everything, especially the coaching staff. And we've gone through it a bunch of different ways. And, it all depends on what kind of game it is. Different games require different guys to carry, sometimes a little bit more than others. So, but we do have a plan for that. A sense of how devastating it could have been. I mean, you lose personnel. We've never built this team to feel devastated. Certainly guys felt for the guys that were at the time having to sit out while they awaited the results of the PCR. But I just got to be honest with you. We don't sink into and we don't give into feeling devastated, or we don't give in.
You can't give in to that. I think if you're a coach, you're a player, I think that's a good answer from Mario Cristobal. We're going to hear more from the Oregon football head coach. He talked to the media for about another 10 minutes. A lot of questions, including where are we at with that quarterback battle, and some personnel updates from Coach Cristobal as well. That's still to come. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We're back inside the Country Financial Studio, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in the back of your closet. What happened to us? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Okay, maybe I never really fit you right, but I got a lot more Sunday fun days left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio, second floor of the Casanova Center, getting ready for Oregon football, resuming against Stanford coming up next Saturday. Jeff says, any chance of the Scooby-Doo haircut trimmed up and looking better? Yes, there's a chance. All right.
Not until.
Just to reiterate, I am on record and I am a man of my word saying that I will get a haircut when we play a live Oregon sporting event again. Not that I have a countdown, but we're only 10 days away from that.
It's coming.
So, everybody, please, just, I beg you, mask up, everything that we can to make sure that we get to that. I am all in. Also, I would like to say that I would prefer a shaggy haircut, not Scooby-Doo.
I think it is more shaggy.
I knew what you meant, Jeff. You know, big Scooby-Doo fan myself, but
Zoinks.
It's really a Miles literally just commented that. But I'm telling you, like, it's a shaggy haircut. Now, you know why, though, people like Shaggy are fascinating to me? How does he eat what he does and look like he does? And you know who also is that way and whom also is immensely frustrating for people like me? Jerry Allen.
Oh, man.
The metabolism on that man is next level. But yeah, it's a shaggy haircut for sure. It's getting ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. So Jeff, I'm a man of my word. I will get it cut. Maybe we'll do it live on our pregame show. Oh, that would be great. Maybe we'll get it cut live on the pregame show. I'll just take a buzz and just go right to it myself. Maybe we'll do that.
I'd watch that.
Well, you're probably going to be filming it,
Yeah,
Scott. So, you know. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Back to Coach Cristobal. The Oregon football head coach met with the media. I want to play it all for you. Answering a lot of questions, and a lot of the questions that I know fans want answered of where we stand as the Ducks resume practice after those false positive tests. Here's Coach Cristobal.
No, just the confidence that if there was a false positive or a antigen positive on the day of a game,
Gotcha.
that with access to PCR, that it could be processed in time to get a player or a coach for that matter.
Yeah, I'd love to comment thoroughly on it. I do believe there's a process in place for a rapid results PCR or something that's close to being established in that form. So, you know what I'll do is I'll find out exactly where that is. So next time I get on here with you guys, I'll get you that information.
The scrimmage, I'm sure, was an important one to figure out who your starting quarterback is. Has that altered your timeline of when you want to announce? Because I understand that you also need to get that guy in a rhythm and a groove with the rest of the first team. What's your status there?
You know, the way that we practice, I think being in a rhythm and being in a groove is just part of our normal processes. Naming one, I think that's probably more important for the outside world than it is internally. You know, our guys watch our guys perform. Right now we have tremendous confidence in two guys. You know, Tyler is currently running with the ones. But that being said, Anthony has done and had a great camp, and he is right there pushing and is going to continue to push and will allow him to push. And it's important to mention that Jay Butterfield has done a great job and has really started pushing ahead as a guy that could be counted on, as a guy that's getting, you know, the majority of the third team reps.
Mario, I know a while ago we asked about Sam Sanu and kind of what his status is, and it's been a couple weeks since that. Curious for an update on kind of where he's at, and also, I guess, Jonah Chalianu. I know you mentioned he was dinged up. Kind of what is the status with those two?
Yeah, you know, I'm giving Samson some space and letting him deal. And I know I'd love to get you that information, but I also want to be respectful to him as he handles some personal business. Jonah's healing up. Jonah got a little bit dinged up, but Jonah will be practicing, I imagine, within the next 3 to 4 days. Hello?
I take it you had the chance to check out the game on Sunday. Could you share your thoughts on Justin Herbert's continued performance?
Well, I think everyone on here that has seen him play forever, everyone's super excited and happy, but I don't think anyone's surprised. Not in this camp over here. I mean, I think the part that I enjoy most is people getting to see what kind of a leader and person he is. I think we all knew that they were going to see the magic that he creates when he's on the field as a player. I feel just incredibly awesome for him, his family, the program, everyone, when they see how people rally around him, his leadership skills, the way he brings it all together. And the relentless competitor was always going to show, but the fact that it's all coming together and the way that they won that game it's awesome. I have it cut up for me so I could speed through it, so I don't have the time to sit down and watch the whole thing. Yeah, I'm just grateful he's such a big timer. I actually get a text message back from him, whenever he gets settled in after media dealing with you guys. So it's pretty cool.
Mario, it really comes down to time now, 11 days until game day. You had a little bit of a hiccup here in the schedule. How close are you guys reality to playing right now? Could you go this Saturday, or is there still a lot to do together?
I think if you asked any coach for extra time, they take it. I think we're really close to being able to play to the level that we expect ourselves to play, and we are pushing it. Our practices they're not dress rehearsals now. We go, and there's only one way to play that way, and that's to prepare a certain way. So we've covered our situations, any and all football situations, multiple times. Our Saturday mock scrimmage will certainly cover some things that are really unique, some things that have come up that are even more unique that we haven't seen before the last several weeks in college and pro football, because those situations may come up again, and our guys are just it's incredible, the use of the opportunity to learn from others, watching others play, and some things that have gone well and not so well. So I'm sure everyone saw the Penn State Indiana game, and how critical and how many guys can actually hit the brakes and take a knee down there before getting in a wide open end zone, knowing that, hey, this is going to be the difference in us taking the air out of the ball. So it's a lot of really good stuff, and I think our guys are going to be ready when the time's right.
The reality, kind of coming back in when you have something come up like positive antigen tests. There's been other programs that have been kind of dealing with tests in and out of their athletic department the entire summer. This was a first, even if it was a false positive. For you guys, is that a catch off guard kind of moment? It's out there, but this was, so late into the game for you guys, the first. Was there any feeling of surprise when that number kind of came, even though, it turned out to be a false positive?
Well, I would say it was a little bit of a surprise just because we haven't had any, and we've been at it for a long, long time now. It's more than a few thousand tests that we've run through here. And the fact that if you could see, and maybe I should have filmed it, the way our medical team and our processes, our protocol rolls now, I don't know how you could do it any better. I really don't. And that's not just to praise them because we're trying to sell how good they are. It's not. It's just the reality of it. And so, yeah, catch you off guard. And then so right away, you just want to know, okay, let's go right to process, process, safety, health first, everything else. And then find out, okay, is this really something that, let's validate it or unvalidate it. And so, fortunately it was unvalidated. And
just as a quick follow-up to that, in the meantime, while you're waiting for those PCRs to come back, is that gear sort of turning in the back of your mind that, these could be false positives, and maybe reassure yourself of that at that point?
Things that go through my mind, we don't have too much time to go through all the things that go through my mind, especially as you're dealing with situations like that. To me, we're so into this thing here. The first thing that comes to your mind is, all right, how does it affect your players, their families, your coaches, their families? And you start going to the next step in the process to make sure that you're doing the very best you can by all of them. Those are things. You're very process oriented as it relates to everything. I know that sounds boring to the outside world, but we believe that it's critical to being successful and productive in all the things that we do, especially in times like this.
On the personnel front, Mario, just some guys that we haven't heard very much of anything about so far. I just wanted to confirm what their status was. Isaac Townsend, Jake Shipley, we just hadn't heard anything so far through camp. And in the photo of the inside linebackers from over, I guess, late last week, I couldn't tell if Isaac, if he was limited in some way or if he just didn't have his jersey on in the photo, assuming that was him behind the mask. What was the status of those three?
Man, you're fishing for trouble way too early in this preseason, man. Okay, both Isaac and Jake Shipley are doing extremely well. And Isaac's already been here for a year, so his body has already changed dramatically. He's 255, 260 pounds. And, he is getting some pretty good playing time in there. He started off with the threes, but he's getting worked in there with the twos. And Jake Shipley is developing extremely well. Here's a guy that when he was here in the wintertime, in the fourth quarter program, and during the beginning of spring ball, you could already tell the guy's going to be a really good player. Now, with Jordan and with Austin coming back, obviously, the interior of our defensive line has gotten stacked a little bit more than we thought it might have been this year. So he is getting his reps. We think he's going to be a great football player here. Inside linebacker, Isaac is perfectly healthy and having an awesome camp. And all those linebackers are having a great camp. Drew Mathis is having a great camp. The three young guys that you hear so much about, those guys are all just extremely special, explosive, downhill, tough, smart guys. And they're being groomed by a couple of older, hard-nosed, demanding guys that are getting the best out of them. That, and with the tutelage of Coach Wilson, we expect that to be one of the strengths of our football team.
Nobody in your building is surprised at what Justin's been doing, but if you listen to like talk radio or anything, you would assume he just learned to throw the football like 2 weeks ago. How is his role different in that type of offense versus what you guys have been asking him to do last season?
Oh, it's a different offense. Obviously it's a completely different offense, and he's excelled in it and done a great job. All hats off to him, hats off to the coaching staff over there with the Chargers. They're doing a great job, and he's certainly excelling. And the receivers, tight ends, backs, offensive line, they're all hitting on all cylinders, and they are fun to watch. I know
Coach Mirabal was saying last week that Saturday's scrimmage is going to be pretty instructive and kind of finalizing and getting some idea on who those five guys would be. Without that scrimmage, is anything coming into clear picture? Do you have an idea of kind of what that's going to look like at all?
It's clearing up. It really is. And I think the part that's really exciting is we feel that we have four guys that can play tackle and a fifth that could jump out there in an emergency. We feel we have three guys that can play center and developing a fourth. We feel we have five guys that we could rotate inside and a potential six that could move there in a pinch. Some of these are the same guys, they overlap, but feel really good about where we are, feel really good about the leadership that Alex Forsythe has provided. I think that's so different. When you start playing with the ball in your hand, a lot of times guys slow down. Alex has done the opposite. He has sped up, and when you're a center, you're almost like directing traffic out there. Air traffic controller is what you are, right? You're pointing, you're calling out numbers, you're making line calls. Those things are being passed down. Everybody's communicating. So all in all, I know Coach Mirabal, and you've seen the way that he grinds. He's like nothing else in the country now. He's got these guys poised, ready for a big season.
Offensive line is going to be a big question. Replacing five starters, new quarterback, and the Ducks still picked to win the Pac-12 in the preseason. That's a lot of confidence in the talent on the roster, the recruiting, and the coaching staff. And it starts at the top with Mario Cristobal. Up next, we're going to hear from student athletes today. What was it like going through that stoppage with the scrimmage, and how have they gotten back to work? We're going to answer some of those questions next. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union, back inside the Country Financial Studio next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar presents an original that's now maybe even better. Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar with the same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Let's taste was as good as the original, maybe even better.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. As good as the original, maybe even better.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back on Doug Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Our Great Duck Show wrapped up last night. If you missed it, we talked about the best Oregon offensive linemen and quarterbacks in program history. So many guys to highlight. We did our best to fit it all into an hour, and shout out to Scott Phillips for pulling all the highlights, Steve Pohl for organizing and shooting them, and Scott LeBounty for directing the show. Really was a lot of fun. Check it out on the Oregon Football Facebook page, Oregon Football Twitter, Go Ducks YouTube, Great Ducks, quarterbacks and offensive line. Also on the Oregon Sports Network podcast on your podcast service of choice. It was a lot of fun hearing some great stories, Jerry, Georgie, and Terry telling them about some of the best players in program history. It was a ton of fun to produce those shows, and everybody, I hope that you enjoyed them. Dawood Davis met with the media today. First time that we've heard from Dawood, a guy who's really an ultimate team guy. Has played about 50,000 different positions in his career. And he's really, though, notably played defensive back and wide receiver. And he's bounced back and forth depending on the depth needed at those different positions, and he really is a true team guy. He talked to the media about what camp's been like for him and having that personality and that identity as being a team guy. How does he handle that? Dawood Davis meeting with the media this afternoon.
Coach Avalos mentioned getting you on the side of the ball, that there was a conversation that went in and behind that to kind of move you from receiver back to corner. Can you walk me through kind of what that conversation was like and how excited you were for that kind of move?
I believe Coach B-Mac, Coach Brian, he came to me first. He came to me saying, like, everybody knows there's a shortage at corner, and they Coach Avalos was looking for some guys, and me playing corner last spring, I already kind of knew the defense and had some experience in it, so I was the main candidate to come over. So he came. So he told me to come over, have a meeting with Cristobal. We talked about it, and me, I just told him, like, I'm in for whatever. You feel me? If I gotta play it, I gotta play it.
David, question regarding kind of the weekend timeline itinerary. When you found out that some of your players tested positive, some of your teammates, were you guys worried in the sense, realizing that you're not completely safe from the virus, you still have to take everything really seriously?
Technically, I feel like everyone had like kind of the same mindset. Like here at Oregon, we got the best protocols, and I believe everybody here follows the protocols because everybody here has one goal in mind, and that's to go win the national championship. So when everybody heard it, we was kind of like shocked and suppressed, But I think everybody believed that that something couldn't been right. So we just took it like one day at a time. You feel me? Knowing that Coach Cristobal has our safety as his number one priority.
Dave, I don't know how much you pay attention to this sort of thing, but every person we've asked about you this fall has just kind of really praised you as a great team guy, as somebody that puts the team first. How do you receive that kind of information, and does it kind of, I guess, make you bring a smile to your face knowing how much your teammates and coaches kind of respect who you are and kind of who you've developed into?
Yeah, of course, man. Coming down my first year from Florida, came far away from home. I just wanted to come here and be the best player I can be, and through this long 4-year journey, it did bring some joy to my heart seeing all my teammates and coaches praise me like that. But coming from where I'm from, you feel me? That's just the person I was built to be by my parents. You feel me? By coaches and everybody that was in my corner until I got to this point. So yeah, like I was I was low key. I was still low key happy, you know, like a kid at the candy store when you get that candy bar, like, you feel me? It was cool.
David, you mentioned coming all the way from Florida, and obviously that was to play for Willie Taggart. You've been through a lot throughout your career, switching sides and everything. What is it about Oregon that you wanted to stick this out and not enter the transfer portal or anything like that?
What made me stick it out was, for one, you know, coming from where I'm from, like, you know, I was taught never to quit, never to give up on your dreams, you know, and like my dream was to always come here and be a great football player. You know, I looked up to DeAnthony. I thought I was gonna come here and be the next DeAnthony, you know. But yeah, you know, seeing all my close friends and teammates leave, you know, it was kind of shocking and kind of put me in a dark place. But you know, I got a lot of people here that support me and actually recognize all the things I do. So that played a big part of me staying here, and just like me being the first person in my family to get a degree. It really played a big part. I didn't want to leave here without my degree.
David, your loyalty to the program has been amazing. Obviously, you've stuck it out. You came from Florida, like everyone was just alluding to there. And one of the things you've done was change positions. And now you're at wide receiver and you're well within the depths, are going to get playing time this year. What do you think the different positions you've played here at Oregon has taught you and made you better at wide receiver?
Playing, like, I played defense in high school. So for me, being a receiver and then having to go back to corner to going back to receiver, I feel like I had a real high advantage because I know how defenses work. I know how corners play. I know how corner plays off of leverage. You know, I know where their help is. I know coverage. I knew the coverage structure. So that being on defense gave me the super high upper advantage.
David, you mentioned a lot of the kids from Florida leaving. There is a player on the roster, Brandon Dorless, who attended the same high school you did. Is that a guy that you've been able to – I know he's a couple years younger. Is that a guy that comfort level with having somebody from your neck of the woods on the same team still? And how have you kind of seen him progress over these last couple of years?
Yeah. The funny part, I'm the reason why Brandon got here, you know, because on his visit, I talked to his parents. I told him it was a great place, you know, to get a degree, and the atmosphere was great. I've been knew he was a baller, you know, but this fall camp, to me, it really shows how good of a player he is. He goes out there every day and just does his best. That's all anybody can ask for, is people to go out there and get their best every day. But from a freshman year to now, man, trust me, this season you're gonna see a lot of him.
We've seen a bit of Tyler Shuck here of the fans and the media, but what we haven't seen much of is Anthony Brown. Talk about Anthony Brown, what you've seen from him in camp, and what he brings to this program.
Anthony, he's a very, very good guy. During the time where our program got shut down because we didn't know we were going to have a season, me and Anthony literally went to the park every day, ran routes to build chemistry. He's a great guy. He's another team guy. You know, he just want to do everything better for the team. It's good competition between him and Shuck. But being a guy coming in, having to learn a new playbook, you know, it's always gonna be like a little step behind because T Shuck already done had 4 spring practices with the playbook, so he already had it kind of familiar. But you know, as time goes, I believe that his role is going to grow because him and T Shuck's role is going to grow because both of them can throw the ball and run, and that's going to be a big part of our team this year. So,
you know, that's a guy who's seen it from both sides too, right? He's defending the quarterbacks at times. He's catching passes from the quarterbacks at times. Pretty good guy to break down that position battle. David Davis talking to the media today. When we come back and hear from another newcomer, I should say, or a newcomer at least for both of them. It's kind of a newcomer to be on the forefront of the team, but this guy's actually coming all the way from Boise State. Newcomer this season. Going to hear from Jordan Happel when we return. It's Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home.
So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar presents an original that's now maybe even better. Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar with the same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Same refreshing taste as the original, but with zero sugar. Mary had a bottle of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. This taste was as good as the original, maybe even better.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. As good as the original, maybe even better.
This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Jordan Apple coming over from Boise State, played for Coach Avalos there, had an interception against Oregon at one point in his career. He got asked about that. But playing in this secondary, the Ducks have a lot of experience, but some new faces, and Jordan Apple is one of them. We're getting to know Jordan Apple as he talked to the media today.
Jordan, when you first stepped on the field here, was it pretty much the exact same playbook that you already knew from Boise State because of Andy, or did it feel different, like you were actually joining a completely different team?
I'd say it was a little different, different verbiage, obviously, and techniques and stuff. But I mean, obviously, it was kind of a carryover with the scheme, like the overall kind of basics of things carried over, whatnot. But I'd say the biggest thing was just different verbiage and like term usage, and then just how they played things and the techniques were a little bit different.
Jordan, I was wondering how quickly you were up to full speed, because we heard things from the coaches saying that, wow, you learned the playbook so quickly. How did you feel you did and getting up to speed?
I'd say it happened pretty fast. I mean, obviously it was a little change of pace with stuff with obviously we were shut down in Boise too before I came here. So when I got here, we jumped kind of right into fall camp. So I'd say I got the speed things pretty quickly though.
I know you went to Boise State, but you're from the Portland area, Jordan. Coming to Oregon, was that always a dream, or kind of was this a school you always kind of thought it'd be fun to play, just given your proximity to it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up here in Oregon, obviously, I saw like the tradition of Oregon, the history that they had and stuff, and a lot of success in my time here. So, I mean, obviously, ever since I was in high school, I always dreamed of being a Duck, and I'm just glad to be here now.
Hey, Jordan, was just curious, how did the transfer to Oregon come about, and like how did you settle on Oregon, and were there other schools that you were considering, or was it mostly just Oregon?
I'd say it all happened pretty fast, obviously. But I'd say as soon as Oregon pretty much came about, there were some other schools I talked to a little bit and just kind of like got to the basic stuff with. But I'd say as soon as Oregon came about and stuff, got on the phone with some of the coaches, and it was pretty much just a done deal from there.
Hey, Jordan, quick flashback to 2017. How did it feel to get that interception against Oregon and Justin Herbert in the Las Vegas Bowl?
It was great. I mean, yeah, it was a while ago, but it was great. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here now. Obviously, I played against Justin back in high school too, so I've had some times with him though.
Jordan, just curious what it was like going through the process this weekend when you guys were shut down, and kind of your mindset and worrying about the whole COVID protocols.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, things are going to happen. They have a great protocol set in here. We're just going to keep following it because it's been great so far.
Jordan, you've seen a few coaches in your day, so give us your impressions of Coach Hayward and what you're getting out of him as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Hayward's been great so far. I mean, obviously, he's have a crazy mind on the football field, but I'd say the biggest thing is, aside from him being a fantastic coach, he's an even better person. I mean, obviously, I've only known him for a month or so, but I mean, honestly, I feel like he's someone I can trust with all kinds of things I can go to if it's about football or not. But in terms of, like, football stuff, he's been great. Outside of football, even better, too.
Coach Avalos was saying you have familiarity and some experience playing nickel. Also said that field safety would be an area you'd be working at. Is there a spot you're playing primarily? Is it a mix between the two? And kind of what's your comfort zone with both?
I'd say it's been a mix between the two. Obviously, with the familiarity with the defense, I know both spots, and but I've been going back and forth, just working between the two.
Jordan, how do you approach this year as both a grad transfer, but knowing that the eligibility clock is paused? It's a short season. You could come back if you wanted, or for that matter, I suppose you could go somewhere else if you really wanted. But how do you approach it mentally, knowing that it's going to be a short season, but you also have another year if you wanted to use it?
Just making the most of what we have. Obviously, it's a shortened season, but yeah, we still have another year of eligibility left after that, so I plan on coming back for that one too.
You're a veteran guy, so I was wondering, has anyone taken you under their wing, or are you just such a veteran, no one needs to take you under their wing?
No, I'd say everyone has here. I don't think anyone, like one particular person, but I'd say the entire team has. Obviously, the safety room has been incredible. The guys in there, the players and coaches as well, the GAs, all the coaches. Obviously, I'm with the defense more than the offense, but I'd say everyone's done a great job just kind of showing me how things work here.
This unit was expected, and I still think is expected to be one of the best nationally. I'm talking about the secondary. What's it been like just being around the level of talent that's here? I'm not trying to say anything negative about Boise State, but I know that there's an expectation. A lot of the guys in the secondary are going to be NFL caliber guys and high draft picks. What's it kind of been like being around those type of talent?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, they lost a lot of talented guys to the NFL this past season and whatnot, but I don't think there's any drop off in terms of the guys that are in that room. Honestly, I think they're going to they're going to start off right where they left off at, and things are going to be it's going to be a hell of a season for that group.
What's the competition like between yourself and Bennett Williams, another transfer who came in and also had D1 experience elsewhere?
I'd say there's competition between everyone in there. Each day we just try to be our best and just let it go from there.
Jordan Happel, good answers from the Boise State transfer. A Portland guy. That was kind of cool hearing that, when he was in high school, he wanted to be a Duck, decided to go to Boise State. Now he's here playing for the Ducks. Might get a chance to start for the Ducks in Andy Avalos' system that he knows so well. Jordan Happel, that's good stuff. Coming up, we're going to switch gears, talk a little bit about the offense and the run game with Jim Mastro. He talked to the media today, the Oregon running back coach and run game coordinator. That's next. Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We're back to the Country Financial Studio after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Jim Mastro spoke to the media today about all things running backs. Some good things to say about C.J. Verdell, also what it's been like recruiting during this pandemic. Jim Mastro, Oregon running back coach, with the media today.
What's been the biggest, I guess, growth point for CJ going into this year? You've been around for a couple of years. And kind of, when you see him, you feel like you could utilize him a little differently this year, or kind of just what's your viewpoint on CJ in particular?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's just, he's kind of taking his game to, the next level, year 3. And the big thing with him was how he kind of changed his body in the offseason as far as nutrition, taking care of himself a little bit better, understands the long-term goal. So he's as dynamic as they come. And we expect a lot out of him this year. And, he's a unique individual. And he's to me, he's the best back in this league, if not in the country.
Hey, Coach, just was curious what your evaluation of after 1 year in the program is of Sean Dollars, and then same thing about Trey Benson and how they both factor into the running back rotation.
Yeah, well, Sean's came light years. Obviously, every freshman comes in thinking they're going to dominate the college football world, and I think it was a rude awakening for him early. But I'll tell you what, he's taking his game to a new level. He's everything we thought he was. He's just got his kind of matured his body a little bit and taking care of his body. Understands, very, very intelligent kid. We ask our running backs to be very smart in this offense. They have to know a lot, and he's as smart as they come. So very happy with his progression, and I think you'll see a lot of Sean this year.
Following up on CJ, Jim, what does a massive step in development that Mario mentioned, you mentioned he's also progressed, obviously, look like and entail beyond nutrition? I mean, he's your best pass blocker. He's probably the best pass blocking running back in the league already, and he takes pride in that already. But what does that massive step in development look like for a guy who's run for 1,000 yards back-to-back years and is as good a pass blocker as he is and pass catcher as he is? Yeah,
I think it's just a consistency all the time. I think in the past we kind of at times took him for granted. 9-man box, it's all right. CG will run somebody, he'll run somebody over. He'll make that guy, to the point now where it's going to be able to get him in space a little bit more, to where he's very dynamic. And as you know, he's as fast as they come. So I think just the offense will help him this year, and also, just his mentality of he has a goal and he's very driven. And I think he's a team player, and he has goals he wants to achieve personally, but he also has goals he wants to achieve as a team. And he's been 100% in on this whole thing, and I respect the heck out of him.
Jim, with all that experience you've talked about, and now with Coach Moorhead coming in to run his offense, how much different is what you do in the running game going to be this year compared to last year?
Run game wise, not a lot different. It'll be the same. There'll be a little bit more variance to it, but the run games is a lot. It's similar to what we did in the past. There's a few tweaks to it and things that'll get our guys in space a little bit more, but it'll be generally the same, but with some variations of it that will get our guys in space a little bit more than we did in the past.
Coach, last year Cyrus was used a lot in the red zone, and he wanted, and you mentioned last year that you wanted to expand his game to be used more than that. How has that progressed, and how has he expanded his game, that away?
Yeah, a lot. Cyrus has earned the right to be an every down back. He's taken his body and his game to a whole new level this year. The off season, during the down times and the lockdown, he took his body and he took the time, and he got himself better in every aspect: nutrition, speed, strength, flexibility, all those things that after the end of last season we told him he had to improve on, he did. And Cyrus is the leader of our group. He's like the father figure in our room. And he's taken those young guys under his wing, and he's done an unbelievable job. So, Cyrus has earned the right to be an every down back, not just a short yardage goal line back.
What is going to be the key to keeping CJ upright? Tough as he is, and he's never missed a start, but obviously he's missed a lot of time the last 2 years for one reason or another, and played through a lot of it. But what is going to be the key this year to making sure he gets through games? Because when he does, as you mentioned, statistically speaking, he was not that far behind a Chuba Hubbard or J.K. Dobbins last year in certain splits.
Absolutely. Part of that was our doing. I think in games we realized we had in hand. CJ never wants to come out. And even the games where he got dinged a little bit, he wanted to go back, but we have the luxury of having great depth behind him. But to answer your question, he just got to be an every down back. He's got to get that in his mind that it's not going to be 2-3 plays and then a rest. If we get you in a series, we want you to go and go and go and go. And he's taken into that role, and he understands what we're looking for. And I think that's going to be the key to him having a huge year.
Now, you helped kind of develop the pistol offense at Nevada, and Oregon implemented it the last couple of years. Is that something we're going to see much of or any of under Coach Moorhead? Or is that kind of, I don't know, what's the update with that?
Yeah, you'll see a lot of it. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's kind of to us, it's the great equalizer in the run game. We don't kind of give the answers to the test, and you'll see it, as much as Coach Moorhead wants to call it. I know he had never done it before until he got here, and I know he really, really likes it. So we'll just let him play with it as he sees fit.
Jim Mastro, master of the pistol offense, that's for sure. We've seen that, talked a lot about that. When he was on the Coaches Show last year, that was one of the best interviews, just talking about how that came about. And he said, for the first week of fall camp, it was like, at Nevada, it was like, this ain't working. This isn't working. And then suddenly the defensive coaches all started going, man, that's tough to figure out. That's tough. You get downhill real quick if you're a running back. That's why running backs love that pistol offense. That's Jim Mastro, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Our assistant coach interviews, all brought to you by WVCI this season. So, it was cool talking about C.J. Verdell there, I think, because I think he does get overlooked, for sure. I think that C.J. Verdell is sort of one of those guys that's we've seen him do what he does, and he gets taken for granted a little bit. I think this year he's going to have a pretty special season. Time for your Cafe Yum 2-minute drills. We finish things up today. Ducks back on the practice field and back practicing, heading toward that kickoff at 4:30 next Saturday inside Autzen Stadium against Stanford. One note, big update from today, as Rob Mullins did send an email out to the Duck Mail group, if you will, season ticket holders and beyond. He said, quote, to help ensure the health and safety of our community, please note that no fans or tailgating will be allowed in the Autzen Stadium parking lots or in any of the surrounding lots this year. Paraphrasing now, he said he'll hope that we can have you back soon, but as we try to mitigate that spread of the COVID-19 virus within our community, no tailgating will be allowed at Autzen this year. That's your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. Restaurants throughout Oregon and Washington, Cafe Yum. More special diet requests, custom orders always welcome. Menus available at cafeyum.com. Good show today. Eric Rodell, Deputy Athletic Director, our guest tomorrow. See you then.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think